So I believe that it's actually easier to make $1 million on YouTube than it is to make 1,000. And in today's video, I'm gonna prove it. Last week, I got a comment that read something like this: there's no way you can earn that much money from a smaller YouTube channel. It literally doesn't make sense. Now, generally, I don't look at the dark tunnel of YouTube negative comments on my channels, but I decided actually that's a great topic. People not believing you can make a ton of money from smaller YouTube channels. And so let me actually be super clear. Not only is it easier, it actually takes 10 times less the effort and time commitment when you understand the strategy behind it. So right now, as I speak, my husband and I generate this kind of income from the channel you're watching right now. We've also done the same thing on another channel that I ran for years with over 180,000 subs. Now, I know that the people that write in these kinds of comments just have no idea the back-end business opportunities that small or mid-size or large YouTube channels can create. And so they're really focused on small-minded thinking. I know this because I did this for the first 3 to almost 4 years of being in that YouTube purgatory phase that I like to talk about on this channel, where I wasn't growing, I could barely make money, and I felt like I was just doing this as a side hustle, right? Just starting like everyone's talking about. And what's funny is when I was chasing those things, the view counts, the sub counts, the sponsorship opportunities, I was the most stressed in my business career, and I actually made the least amount of money. So today I'm basically going to walk you through this framework that takes a new to small channel on this path of going from nothing to earning a significant amount of income in less than 6 months. Each step is designed to help you grow faster, monetize smarter, and turn your channel into a full-fledged business this year. But before we get into it, my name is Haley, and on this channel, I teach new and experienced creators how to build a values-first business where they create and control assets that they own so that they're not at the mercy of brands paying them, algorithms constantly changing, or view counts going up and down. So if that interests you, go ahead and subscribe down below. And let's go ahead and talk about how you should think 10x, not 2x. So like I've mentioned in past videos, it took me 3 to 4 years of just grinding, switching niches, not knowing what the heck I was doing, just being a dabbler. It wasn't until I sat down and said, okay, where am I going? What's the point of this? And like I said in the last video, staking my flag in the ground and committing to the desire of making it happen, that we were able to go from 0 to 7 figures in just under 2 years. So I obviously attribute our massive success in just a short amount of time to so many things: hours behind the camera, filming videos at night with light boxes while my babies are sleeping, spending over 150 grand into masterminds, mentorships, courses, all of the info products that so many people, or honestly just knowledge-based products that so many people put down instead of investing in my first single family home as a new family. I mean, I've gone through such a grind phase on YouTube. And so all of those things obviously matter, but there's actually one pivotal moment that I haven't discussed on this channel that changed everything for me. And it came in the form of a book. 10x is better than 2x. And so what I learned from this book is that in relation to being a content creator, it's very easy to focus on small incremental gains. It gives us this big dopamine hit right away when we choose a new blog theme on WordPress, or when we tweak our logo, take new headshots, or fix our thumbnail, edit our own videos, find a new editing style that we can do that makes us look more professional or better, right? And so it's all of these tiny little incremental tweaks that make us feel like we're moving the needle, when at the end of the day, although you see a small amount of progress in a lot of different fragmented ways, it doesn't create this massive shift in your business in a very condensed period of time. So instead, and I said this in our last video and probably the video before that, this is the question all content creators should be asking themselves. If I was forced to earn insert whatever number you want to earn per month, for me, it was 6 figures a month. We live in Orange County, very expensive where we live. This is the norm, so it's different for everybody. But if I was forced to earn 6 figures a month working 1 day a week, how would this be possible? And this is where I talk about, being a values-based business owner. And I wasn't for so long. I sacrificed all my values to have this massive success in my business. I worked more and I was more focused even in my head than being with my little toddler at the time. And so it wasn't until I realized you can have it most ways, the ways that you want it, if you're willing to disprove your limiting beliefs. If I was forced to earn this amount of money working 1 day a week, how would it be possible? How would my business be structured? That's what I asked myself. How would my income, this is so important for a lot of you guys and the whole point to this video, how would my income be prioritized? There's so many income streams that creators focus on, but depending on how fast you want to condense time and hit your goals, which income stream would allow for you to meet that goal within that set time frame is the second question. And better there yet. What skills would I need to be an expert at? And when I started asking myself this question because of this book, remember, seeing your business from a 10x view, how do I not do more work, but leap ahead in my business times 10 and think about it within that lens instead of making all these micro adjustments? What would have to be true? Thought to myself, oh, okay, so if I wanted to make this wild amount of money, being my own editor for the next however many years and spending 6 hours sometimes editing the video and the thumbnail or just the video, it's not really gonna get me there. Or me coaching every single one of my students personally, me taking Zoom calls for sales calls personally, that's not gonna get me my time back. Me needing to appease a mass amount of eyeballs, aka subscribers or viewers on my main YouTube channel in order for me to get these brand deals and hit these goals is going to take more time than I'm willing to sacrifice away from my children. I'll need to get better at YouTube. I'll need to potentially work multiple days on one video to get more views, and maintaining those views kind of breaks my values, which is spending more time with my kids than it is working. So you have to have rules and boundaries in your business. And that starts with like the whole title of today's video. It's like, it's easier to make $1 million than it is 1,000, because when you have a 10x goal, that's the whole point of the book. When you have a really large goal, like your stretch goal, which you shouldn't say that it's a stretch goal. You should say, this is what I want. Remember, based off the last video, this is my desire, put my stake in the ground, burn all ships, right? How would it be possible? Well, it wouldn't be possible unless ... right? Fill in the blank. That's what we're doing here. We're filling the blanks. And I had to do this for myself. So I asked myself, oh, could I do this on more sponsorships? No, that broke my rule of working more than 1 day a week. Once I started basing my business off of what I am and am not willing to do, drawing a really hard line in the sand, then the answer started to come to me. The opportunities were glaringly obvious for how I could hit my income goals working much less than the average YouTuber. And I wasn't going to be building a business in a way that most people understand, as in the person that did the initial comments, because most people are focused on vanity metrics. Most people aren't focused on building a legit business that gets recurring customers, that gets people real results, that has a team. We're able to have a business that runs itself with your YouTube channel fueling it. Now I know you guys might be sitting there thinking, okay, she wants me to just sell a course. Okay, she wants me to shill a course, and she's just a scammy shill girl that, you know, just sells these bogus courses. No one gets results and you make a ton of money. I mean, if that was the case, then everybody and their mother on my whole block would be selling courses and rich, right? Obviously that is not the case, because making a ton of money in digital products typically nowadays, it doesn't come from selling some valueless course that nobody gets results from. So I don't sell courses. I sell coaching programs. I'm like a consultant in real life, and I have a team of people that help me consult on my behalf. So I don't sell courses in and of themselves, although I think there's nothing wrong with them. I've spent money on tons of courses and they've absolutely changed my life, but that's not really what I'm saying. For instance, Miss Absurd Monkey 8 days ago, okay? So basically, the only way to make money on YouTube is to use it as a way to advertise some product you've created and are selling, which means you aren't actually making money by making video content. I mean, no, because I make money with still I do sponsorships and I still do AdSense. So you're wrong there, but I know what she's saying. Your video content is your advertising plan. Yes. If I keep watching, I'm guessing you have a course to sell me, right? So, you know, I think she's being snarky. And I said, bingo, you know, but we sell a coaching program. So drastically different. If I just sold a course and made 7 figures, like you should too. Okay. But no, it's definitely not so easy. Yes. You're using YouTube as an advertising plan on your way to making 7 figures, a serious income. And so the way that it's easier to make more money than it is on YouTube to make less is because when you are stuck in a 2X mindset, you are doing everything yourself. You're actually working way more hours and you're not looking to scale your business to where you get more of your time back. Initially, it's going to be hard no matter what. It's going to be hard to build a consulting, you know, business like I have. Or if you just wanted to sell a standalone course, nothing wrong with that, like I said. It's going to be hard to do those things, but it's also equally as hard in my experience of doing just this for 3 to 4 years when I first got started on my main channel. It's equally as hard to freaking grind and post video after video after video that you're hand editing yourself, that you're doing the title and thumbnail for, where you're pitching every single sponsor. I used to pitch 20 brands on Etsy. This is how I quit my full-time job years ago, through UGC content every single hour of the day. Okay. I was pitching literally 20 people every hour with handcrafted emails. That's freaking hard hard. Then when I started doing sponsorships, it was, I would say, a little bit easier because some were coming to me because I had some clout on my main channel, but still so hard because you have to spend hours memorizing their script, filming the video, doing the ad, and then they tell you to redo it because you said the wrong line. You are almost like a mouthpiece for so many other brands. That is hard. That is stressful. So it's almost like pick your hard, but I am, and I said this in my last video, 32 years old. I have 4 little kids at home. And so it's all gonna be hard. You almost have to think like, pick your poison. Which do you want? Do you wanna do everything yourself and make way less money? Or do you want to choose, which we're gonna get to in a minute, you know where I'm going with this, the income stream that is going to allow you to work way less and earn way more? And so I thought about this. I'm like, do I continue with my main motherhood channel, earn less and work more? Because I love it. Like I do. I love it. I love talking about homeschooling. It's my passion. But again, I'm like, getting older now and I have a lot more responsibility. I want way more time with my kids. And so I'm going to see YouTube for what it is, a business, not so much like a passion-filled project. Maybe if I was in my 20s, which I already did this, I would treat it as something fun to do. And whatever money I ended up making from it would be great. But now it's a little different. And so this video is really for people that obviously want to squeeze the most amount of money with the least amount of time. And so at the end of the day, even if you sell just a course and you want a super hands-off business model, or I guess product model, you have to get people real results. I mean, I wouldn't be able to sell anything if I didn't have a slew of people literally talking on camera saying, this changed my life, video testimonials. It's about creating a ladder of ascension that your students go through that compounds income. And we did a whole video on this. I'll link it down below, what that ladder of ascension looks like in our business, how you increase the lifetime value of your customers coming into your funnels and into your ecosystem. I'll link it up here too. So I know a lot of you guys are now thinking, okay, I have no audience, Haley. Literally, I suck. I have 200 views. I'm in that purgatory that you always mention. Like, what do? I still have to just post. No one's going to buy my stuff. Okay, I have huge thoughts on this, like most things. So the biggest mistake I ever made in my online business journey is not selling from day one. Because again, you can spend all of your time doing all of the nitpicky, like back end stuff, the editing, the thumbnails, the tweaking of your website, the making your landing pages, the things that don't make you the most amount of money, right? Not the 10x zone of genius tasks, or you can start building a legit business. What do businesses have? They sell a product. And so my biggest mistake is not selling a product from day one. It's waiting until I felt ready, or waiting until I looked the part or credible, or waiting until I had a big audience. What does that even mean? Because that was a belief I had. And you guys have that too, obviously, based off of some of the comments I get. You think that you need to have a large audience to make money. Therefore, you will need a large audience to make money because the income streams that you're focusing on require a massive audience. This is what I did. I thought I need a big audience, therefore I needed a big audience. Okay, sponsorships is the thing that I need to do. When in reality, I should have reversed it. How can I make the same amount of money with a small and growing audience? Selling your own products where you take home 90% of the income. This person says, started my channel in 2009, 12 years ago. Already have over 4,000 hours of watch time pretty much from one video, but still working to get 1,000 subs. That should not be your goal. It shouldn't be like pat yourself on the back. I mean, I did the same thing, so no shade, straight up, to get 1,000 subs, like no. And then they say, in all honesty, though I only posted 3 cheesy videos about 2 years ago and only got serious about making videos in the past 30 days. Instead of serious about making videos, it should be serious about making money because the strategy is vastly different. And then they say in the past 30 days, I picked up over 150 subs. With that said, consistency obviously matters. Consistency matters if you're selling your own products and you don't want to have to maintain and grow a massive audience to get paid. So that is option one. You do everything yourself and it takes you a long time and you have to maintain the massive audience if you want to get paid and grow it even more. And so option number 2 is you still do everything yourself at first, but the only difference, which is a massive one, is you start selling something from day one. If I was to build a brand right now, like another brand, nothing to do with business, nothing to do with anything, nobody would know who I was, let's say gardening. The first thing I would do if I had, and I do, like I literally do, 0 followers for gardening, right? I don't even have a garden. I have like an herb garden, that's it. And I wanted to just, what you create content on is what you become a master at, what you become better at, who you become. And let's say I want to be healthy. I want to grow everything from scratch, or maybe 50% of my food. So I rip apart my backyard and I start growing things. the first thing I would ever do is ask myself, what am I going to sell to monetize this brand? And I would start gathering the landing pages, obviously after, that's a bad example, but after I started growing things and become knowledgeable. You don't want to lie, obviously. And I don't think you can, because no one would buy your thing. They would have to see the proof, right? Let's pretend I had the proof. I would start to sell something right away. So I start to sell probably a mentorship of some sort, a small cohort of people learning from me. Maybe I would do it live. And so that's how I would start. But the whole point is, if I had 0 followers, my mind is like, okay, what does it look like? What does the funnel look like? What does the landing page hook look like? What are my videos centered around? How am I going to convert the people in the video that I post on day 1 to the idea that I have what it takes, and I'm selling them on me, right? I'm selling them on the outcome that they're going to get. Ideally, I'm good at gardening, right? By that time. That is how I think, because you have to always ask yourself, and I tell this to my students, when you wake up every day, your eyes open and it should say, how am I going to get a sale today? How am I going to get another sale? Because YouTubers that are stuck for so many years just grinding, this person said consistency matters. It does if you just want to get views and get paid pennies through AdSense. And so you have to be instead sales matter. Sales matter if you want to turn this into a real business. So framework number 2 is specialize to monetize. So when you're first starting out, it's very hard to know what you should create content on. And you are insecure with so many aspects of you as a new entrepreneur, you as a creator, you as someone that speaks to nobody in a camera, and you feel like you can't even speak right. You say too many likes, too many ums. I still do all those things, obviously. I talk too fast, like I do, right? You have all these flaws about yourself, and you can pick apart everything wrong with yourself. And so because of that, you start to chase all the rabbits, like I like to tell my students. Okay, so this video is going viral for another creator. I'll hop on that train. And this video is going viral for another creator in a slightly different niche. I'll hop on that train. You're on all these trains. It's a bad metaphor. And you realize that your view counts are going up, down, up, down, up, down. What are you at this point? A generalist. And anybody that wants to get paid through your own products, which is the ticket to making more money faster, right? Selling your own products from day 1, not day 2, not day 20. In your mind, you're already thinking, how can I sell, right? But you don't want to look like a generalist, because generalists don't get paid. You also might be thinking, well, Haley, I do motherhood stuff. I did too, okay? I do baking, I do cleaning, I'm a minimalist, I'm a homeschool mom, I talk about sourdough bread, I'm a generalist, and I'm not really like an authority. Like, I don't have to be an authority like you do to sell my own products. I just have to share my life. You have to look like an authority with the thing that you teach. It's not enough just to share unless you look like an authority with what you share. So for instance, we have this student, Erica. What is the home intent? It's her YouTube channel. I'm going to put on the screen in case I'm wrong. But she basically is crazy. All right. I laugh at her all the time on our calls, but she is a mom of, I think multiple kids. And she lives off grid in Canada, the Canadian wilderness. I don't know. It's crazy. I am such a sheltered, like metropolitan kind of girl. But I admire her so much. And so because of that, she has incredible amount of authority for being healthy, being vibrant, being positive, being joyful, because she literally chops down her own wood and lives off grid. But most of us don't live that type of lifestyle where we can just share and film ourselves and look like an authority. It's not always enough. We have another student, Janet, and she grows, I think she's 90% self-sustainable. Don't quote me. I'll have to look at her website to confirm, but she eats from her own land, like almost 100%. She's not reliant on grocery stores or anything like that. And so she just has to share that information, and she's an immediate authority. But for people that are in niches where it's a little harder to communicate that I am good at what I do, you have to be consistent in sharing your message video after video after video, and selling people on the solution to the problem that they have through your words, through what's visually on camera, and through your expertise. And so doing a lot of different types of videos in many different niches makes you look more like a generalist. It's harder to get paid, and it's harder for people to see you as an authority. Another example is our student Catherine Vogtberg from Now That We're a Family podcast, and they also have a YouTube channel they did for a while. She does motherhood content, and you might say, okay, you can't make a lot in like a B2C, business to consumer motherhood course, and why would a bunch of moms want to, pay money to another mom to tell them how to mom better? Well, you could not be farther from the truth. Katie sells out her course like hotcakes, and she basically shares her life, but she provides, in my opinion, very, very novel solutions to common problems in an almost wacky way. She'd probably laugh if she heard me say that, but she has a flip phone, okay? So she doesn't look at social media in that way. She's a minimalist, so she has like a set of cups and plates for her entire family of 6 kids. And because of all these wacky, newfound novel ideas, she's selling indirectly with new solutions to problems that common people have. Your videos will in turn get more views because they are now episodic. I mentioned this in my last video. If you want a cult-like audience of raving fans, people that are willing to fly all the way across the country to be able to talk with you, then you want to make your content almost bingeable like Netflix. And so the way that you do that is you make it all related. So a lot of people say, well, I'm multi-passionate, multifaceted. That's all fine. I would say to branch out only after you hit your income goals and, have this massive audience, because if you start with doing whatever you want, it's going to be really hard. It's going to take a long time for people to want to watch all of your content pieces because they're not directly related for why they initially came to your channel in the first place. So for example, if you guys know, you'll know the epic gardening guy. Okay. I forgot his name, but basically he created this massive YouTube channel, Epic Gardening. He was on My First Million, which is a podcast where they talk about people making an exorbitant amount of money through selling their own assets. In the form for him, this is products. So this is like a gardening, like a raised bed he sells. I think he sells seeds. He owns another company. And so his companies, I'll put on the screen what I can find they're valued at. That would not have been possible if the Epic Gardening man would have started his YouTube channel. Okay, at least you guys let me know what you think. And Monday, he did a video on canning. Tuesday, he did a video on how to do raised beds, how to grow tomatoes. Wednesday, he did a day in the life of him on his garden. And Thursday, he did a video on how to remodel your backyard. But he stuck to the thing that was going to make him a super expert. And he created a brand that, he can sell for millions and millions of dollars. The second reason why it's so beneficial to be more specific with your content and very reliable in what people expect of you is that you no longer have to play the algorithm game because you have a really high conversion rate, ideally, with the stuff that you sell. Because when you show up consistently talking about and becoming an expert on a couple different topics, people are more likely to trust you. It doesn't look like you're a jack of all trades or, like I said, a generalist. And you can out-earn almost all creators in your niche. And you can hit most income goals unlike the traditional YouTuber that just chases vanity metrics and will do a video just for the sake of going viral on any topic under their category. So the third thing we're going to talk about is basically how to increase the lifetime value of your viewer. And so this is the difference, remember, with the 10x thinking and the 2x thinking. 2x thinkers just think, how can I get more views? How can I get more sponsors? How can I get more AdSense checks, higher AdSense checks? Whereas a 10x thinker thinks, how can I sell more people in my audience more than one time so that I don't need to appease the masses like we talked about, and I don't need to have a massive audience in order to hit my larger, ideally, income goals. And so the biggest thing that I found is to increase, again, how many times one single person will buy from you. So when I first started, I always was focused on just chasing a quick buck because I was 20 something, early 20s, like 22. And I thought, oh my gosh, this is way easier than using my finance degree and slaving away, so I thought, at an 8-to-5 job. And so I'll just take like a $500 sponsor for best fiends. OG YouTubers know these like cheesy apps. I am not proud of it. Not proud at all. I haven't done everything perfectly. Definitely not. This was over 10 years ago or about 10 years ago. And so I would chase these sponsorships and I would negotiate with them a higher rate. And I thought this was like getting me closer towards, and I didn't say the word wealth, but financial freedom, because I didn't have to go into a boss. And that's what so many people, doesn't matter your age, still do. They think that if someone is willing to give you money, you should just take it because this is a form of being financially free, because you're comparing it to you having to commute, sit at a desk job, get a lunch break, go home, and then barely see your family. And so you'll take anything, right? And that's how I was. I had a new baby on the way and I knew I had to replace my income in 9 months or else I would have to put her in daycare. So I was taking up any sponsorship I possibly could. I was doing UGC content and I was just chasing cash. These types of ads and these types of income streams, AdSense for most YouTubers, sponsorships for most YouTubers, they don't build real wealth in a way where I can help my family, my parents whenever I need to. I can take them on like vacations like we've been able to. I can live anywhere in the world. Like it's almost like a glorified 8-to-5 job when you're relying on AdSense and sponsors. So you need to think more high level with an ascension plan. So the foundation for an ascension plan, which I've detailed in other videos, is starting with something that is not going to cost an arm, leg, and a foot. Okay. So I thought when piecing together all of the pieces of this puzzle for how I can make a lot of money and get more of my time back when I was a full-time YouTuber, I thought, okay, physical products. So we started a baby car seat cover line. It was like 5-in-1 on Amazon. I've talked about it here and there. My husband was able to quit his full-time job and replace the income because of this Bell & Baby brand that I was selling to my YouTube audience through Amazon. It was very hype at the time, Amazon FBA. But what I didn't realize is that you put in thousands, we put in $15,000 to this baby car seat cover line. And it's easily rip-offable, easily replicatable. And so it's not something that I wanted to continue doing because you need a lot of capital. So if you're like most Americans, most people nowadays, you don't just have a wad of cash to invest in your business, and you don't want to have to put it on credit card, although I've done that. You don't want to have to ask your relatives for money. Definitely not. I've never done that. You want to do something where you're able to actually understand the return on investment promised to you. And so in my experience, after having done the physical product route and scratching that off my list, I went to digital products because there's an extremely low overhead and such a high upside. You take home 90% of the profits when you sell your own digital products. That can be in the form of courses, memberships. It can be in the form of like maybe even masterminds. We do consulting and coaching. So we don't just sell just courses because I feel like I want to give a lot of value. And the way that I can do that with business specifically is telling people what to do verbally. So the ladder that I sort of talked about in my other video looks like this. It's kind of expanded since I created that video over a year ago. It starts with getting people into an opt-in. So you're making your YouTube video, right? You're like learning how to control your lead faucet like we talked about in the last video, which is the stream of people coming into your funnel. So you send them to your funnel by giving them an email opt-in. Getting them on your email list and having an email list is like having life insurance for your business. You don't own the platforms, it's sketch. We all kind of know that, right? So getting them into a high quality, not like some cheap checklist that is not good and boring. All right. You high quality opt-in. I've done 5-hour challenges before. Right now I'm testing a masterclass. We're always doing something new. And so you're going to get them on your email list by giving them something for free. So that's the first rung of the ladder. The second one is you're going to sell some type of digital product. So you want to help people get their feet wet. This is, for example, we sell something called YouTubepreneur Kickstart. And that is for people that don't want to go full balls to the walls, for lack of a better phrase, and start this crazy business that I talk about, building your own product, building your own asset. They just want to grow to see if they can even do it. And so this is for beginners. From there, you give people the opportunity to ascend, go up into your higher level, higher ticket programs. For us, this is our main offering called YouTubepreneur. I'm not really trying to sell you. I am and I'm not. Like, I just want to show you guys, and you're not going to believe me, but I just want to show you guys an example, obviously. So you're going to then ideally ascend people. So every year that I started doing this type of business model, digital product-based model through YouTube, I've added on a rung to my ladder. So the first year I just started with an opt-in. I poured as many people into my funnel as possible and I didn't sell them anything. This took me a year. I should not have took a year. I should have took 30 days to then create a product, ideally, if you want to make more money fast. But you can add on a rung. It sounds very overwhelming, but over time, you're going to work anyways. You might as well get paid and get more of your time back by hiring people with the money you make to do all these little micro tasks for you. And so you get them into your opt-in, you send them to something to just get their feet wet. You send a small percentage of those people into your higher level offerings. For us, this is like, the whole thing. We teach the whole evergreen sales system to you through YouTube, selling our own products, right, to make this semi-passive income. And then a percentage of those people will go up into higher level programs. So for us, we teach people how to do challenges, how to rotate their call to action so as not to fatigue their audience with like, get on my masterclass, get my webinar over and over and over. You want to keep it fresh. You want to keep it hype. And then you ideally, if you want to, you don't have to, do a mastermind with people that are your either most dedicated gardening students or your high highest earning YouTubers for us. And so we're looking to actually do another rung, which is the mastermind this year of gathering the highest paid students that we've had on YouTube and basically having them chat about their income streams weekly. And so all of this sounds very daunting. I got a comment like, Haley, you're like shooting from a fire hose. I know I am. Like, I know. I feel like I want to give people this information because everybody that I see doing tips on content creation, it's so low level. It's so like grow. And all you need to do is grow. And I completely disagree. So I want to share with you guys what it really looks like to build this business and see it from a 10x bird's eye view so that you can build with the end in mind. The end obviously being making a lot of money and not quitting, but building with like your vision in mind and your dream life and all of those things. And it's so much more complex than just building a course, like, or building a YouTube channel, like arbitrarily getting more views. There's so much more that goes into it. So going through the frameworks, we're on the fourth thing. It's easier to earn significantly more money within your niche, even if it's so oversaturated, all right, like most people say, if you offer something new and different. I find that people don't get excited by being offered small improvements to existing ideas. For example, if you teach people how to lose weight and you're like, I'll teach you how to lose weight in 30 minutes a day. It's like, that's already been done 10 times over and they want something different, okay? They want a new solution, a unique solution. On YouTube, this applies in so many different ways. The first is your content should offer a new perspective on something that's already been done, but also specifically for your product, it should be a game changer, not like something else that's already been out there. And your brand should stand for something unique and compelling. So we call this in our program the novel offer. It's basically doing something that everyone else already does, but packaging up in a beautiful red shiny bow and making it novel, making it stand out in a way that people are like, wait a second, I've never been sold this before, even though they have, all right? It's called marketing. It's called sales. It's what everybody does. It's what McDonald's does, and maybe not, because they're kind of stale these days. No pun intended, but it's what Chick-fil-A does. My pleasure. It's just a chicken chain. They sell chicken burgers, and it's kind of like McDonald's. They'll have bad seed oils in them, but they packaged it with a beautiful red bow. And now all the middle class moms across America think that they're feeding their kids healthy food and that it's a wonderful family experience when it's really kind of just like McDonald's, just cleaner and the people are nicer. And so that's kind of what you want to do with your YouTube videos, with your products, and with all the branding that surrounds your personal brand is you want it to be unique and different. So you're not just going to teach someone how to do something. You're going to teach them how to save $10,000 a year while doing all the fun things that they have on their bucket list this year. So see how it's novel? You're not taking something away like, okay, stop going to Starbucks, do the Dave Ramsey plan, put all your money in envelopes. You're focusing now on something exciting, which is let's carve out 6 mini adventures that are 100% free that you're going to put on the calendar while you're saving this $10,000. So you're not just going to just give productivity tips. You're going to strategically teach them how to gain back 5 hours every single day with your time-saving hacks. So you're giving them something. You're not focusing on the thing that you're taking away from them or the sacrifice. Again, it's all about the transformation and what they're going to gain out of it. People don't buy better, they buy new. If you focus on creating something that feels like a fresh opportunity, you will stand out every time. So that is pretty much it. Hit the subscribe button and I will see you in my next one. Bye guys.